Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IAS Academy. This is Everyday News Analysis. In this session, we are going to discuss some 6 to 7 articles from various newspapers such as the Hindu and Indian Express, which are important from UPSC prelims as well as mains perspective. Okay, without any delay, we will be starting the articles. So there was an article regarding impeachment of judges. This was covered by most of the newspapers. Hindu, Indian Express, Business Standard, everyone covered this article. So it is news because the opposition in Rajya Sabha is preparing to move a motion to impeach Allahabad High Court judge for his controversial remarks inciting communal hatred. Okay, yesterday in topic of the day discussion, I discussed about code of conduct for judiciary. In that, we discussed about Allahabad High Court judge who attended Vishwa Hindu Parishad meeting where he made some controversial remarks. He said that a country should run because based on the majority's wishes. He also made remarks on uniform civil code. He also made remarks on minorities, etc., etc. So those were undermining the judiciary's code of conduct. So he was not following the code of conduct, and it was left to judiciary itself. But now Rajya Sabha, the two opposition members in Rajya Sabha, are focusing on moving an impeachment motion against this individual. Okay, so we'll understand what is the impeachment process of judge or judiciary in India. The process involves Parliament passing an address to the President to remove the judge. Okay, there will be motion. The motion will be headed that impeachment of so and so judge. That motion to be introduced, it requires at least 100 member supporter in Lok Sabha, 50 member supporters in Rajya Sabha. Okay, once it is introduced in the houses, the house should pass the motion with the 2/3 of the MPs present in voting, with the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both, and must approve with a majority of more than 50% of the total membership of each house. That is 50% of total membership, and it should also satisfy 2/3 members present and voting. This is called a special majority. Only then it will be passed to another house. After that, it will be sent to president, and president can constitute a inquiry committee. Once the inquiry committee defense or inquiry committee says that all the charges against the judges levied are true, then the president will pass the motion, and then the judge, the supposed judge, he seems to be impeached. Okay, what are the constitutional provisions? Under Article 124 Clause 4, the judges can only be removed by presidential order passed with a majority vote in both houses of parliament. The vote must come from 2/3 of the members present and voting. And Article 218 says that the Constitution extends the same rules to High Court judges also. So both High Court and Supreme Court judges are removed by the same process. That is the Parliament, parliamentary process, and then it is removed by President. Even the judges of High Court are also removed by President, not the Governor. Don't get confused here. The impeachment process ensured that judicial independence by maintaining high bar for removal, limiting the political influence. Then, so what are the grounds for impeachment? According to the Constitution, there are two grounds. The judge of Supreme Court or High Court can be impeached on two grounds, that is proven misbehavior or incapacity as per the Constitution of India. Suppose if there is a question whether the grounds of impeachment of Supreme Court judge or High Court judge is mentioned in the Constitution or not, then it is mentioned in the Constitution. Okay, the grounds are proven misbehavior and incapacity. But if there is a question whether the proven misbehavior or incapacity has been defined or explained in the Constitution of India, that statement becomes wrong, because they are not explained in the Constitution of India. Instead, they are explained in they are explained in the Legislative Act, that is Judges Inquiry Act of 1968. According to this act, proven misbehavior or incapacity underscores misuse of office, grave offences that undermine the judge's integrity, contravention of provisions of the Constitution. Presently, the opposition is citing to this fact that it is an offence that is undermining the judiciary integrity. Based on this ground, Allahabad High Court judge should be impeached. Okay, so do understand, grounds are mentioned in the Constitution, but they are not defined in the Constitution. Instead, they are defined in the Act, that is Judges Inquiry Act of 1968. What does the process entail? So I already discussed this procedure for according to the Judges Inquiry Act of 1968. Okay, see again one more thing. In the Constitution of India, it only mandates that President should remove based on the majority voting in the Parliament, both houses. But the process is not mentioned in the Constitution itself. This process is mentioned in the Judges Inquiry Act. Okay, According to Judges Inquiry Act, impeachment motion must be signed by at least 100 MPs in Lok Sabha, 50 MPs in Rajya Sabha. I would explain. And then once the motion is introduced, Speaker or the chairperson will constitute a 3-member inquiry committee, which will be headed by Chief Justice or Supreme Court judge. The second member is usually Chief Justice of the High Court, and third member will be distinguished jurist appointed by the Speaker or Chairman. All these members, once they agree that the inquiry committee investigates the charges, cross-examine the witnesses, and regulates its procedure. The committee may also constitute a request a medical test if the charge related to mental capacity or incapacity. Outcome: if the committee finds judge not to be guilty, the motion is dismissed. If found guilty, it will be reported back to the House for further action. Okay, once it is sent to the House, then I will explain this. 50% of the House plus 2/3 members present and voting. Okay, that is a judge of a Supreme Court or High Court is impeached. Okay, is there any instance in the past where impeachment process have been initiated? Yes, there have been instances, such as in 1993, Justice V. Ramaswamy of Supreme Court faced impeachment proceedings for financial impropriety. The motion was unsuccessful despite the guilty finding. He was found guilty, but it was not completely successful in Parliament because it requires 2/3 members voting, 50%, etc., etc. So there are so many complications. In 2011, there was Justice Sumitra Sen, who belonged to Calcutta High Court, was impeached for corruption, but resigned before Lok Sabha could take up the matter. Okay, resolution was introduced in Lok Sabha. He himself resigned so that he doesn't go through impeachment. In 2015, Justice K.S.K. Gangele, who is from Madhya Pradesh High Court, faced impeachment on charges of sexual harassment, but the committee cleared him in 2017. Okay, then in 2015, Justice J.B. Pardiwala of Gujarat High Court faced impeachment for controversial remarks about reservation, but the motion was dropped after judge expunged the remarks. Okay, so see, there have been many instances where impeachment motion has been introduced or impeachment process has been initiated, but none have been successful till now. In 2017, Justice C.V. Nagarjuna of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana High Court faced impeachment for financial misconduct and victimization, but the motion was not pursued. See, all the cases similarly. In this present context also, there can be impeachment process initiated in Rajya Sabha, but it is highly doubtful that it is going to be passed. Okay, then second article, it is from Press Information Bureau. It talks about projects under PM Divine Scheme. Okay, so you will understand what is PM Divine Scheme. It is in news because Ministry of Development of Northeast Region has provided progress update regarding the various projects under Prime Minister Development Initiative for Northeastern Region Scheme. Divine is Prime Minister Initiative for Northeast Development Scheme. Okay, you can write this in your mains answer, or you can expect an answer question from prelims also. Then, so what is PM Divine Scheme? It is a central sector scheme introduced under the Union Budget 2023, aiming to drive development in the northeastern region through infrastructure and social projects. Okay, Northeast is one of the most neglected parts of India, but it is also one of the most important strategically as well as economically for India. Okay, so this scheme aims to develop the infrastructure and other facilities in that region. Okay, what are the aims and objectives? Aim is infrastructure development, that is enhance the connectivity and accessibility in northeastern region, which is aligned with PM Gati Shakti. Addresses critical issues and improve residents' quality of life, that is focusing on social development, and then focus on creating opportunities for youth and women, that is providing livelihood opportunities. Then what are the structural mandate implementation? The nodal agencies, Ministry of Development of Northeast Region. So there is a Ministry of Development for Northeast Region. Approval, Cabinet approved it on 12th October, not necessary. Central funding, since it is a central sector scheme, 100% funding will be from the central government. Outlays 6,600 crore. Project sanctions 35 projects with worth 4,508,851 crores. Sanctioned as of November 2024. Not necessary. And then there are certain state-wise analysis, project analysis. Sikkim, the project here is passenger ropeway system, which is already completed, and Skyway project, which is 13% completed. Then in Mizoram, bamboo link roads, and in Nagaland special development projects. In Assam, school transformations, IT park construction sectors, etc., etc. In Manipur, infrastructure for Manipur Technical University, which is 25% completed. In Tripura, solar microgrid and skill development centers. Work has been started. Okay, that is about PM Divine Scheme. Just know the ministry and know what are the key significance or key provisions of the scheme. Okay, it is Ministry of North Development of Northeastern Region, and it is a central sector scheme. That is 100% funding will be from central sector itself. Then there is a editorial in the Hindu. It is talking about long and complex road to assisted dying. It is given by Suhir Parthasarathi, who is an advocate, Madras High Court. It talks about a recent bill introduced in United Kingdom like Parliament. Okay, so it talks about the bill which was introduced in UK. That is on November 29, 2024. Member of Parliament Kim Leadbeater introduced the Terminally Ill Adults Bill 2024-2025 to the British Parliament. Okay, Terminally Ill Adults End of Life Bill 2024-2025. According to this bill or the law, it permits terminally ill individuals with less than 6 months to live to opt for assisted dying, provided their request is signed off by 2 doctors and the judge. Okay, it is similar to our discussion we had in the past about euthanasia, that is passive and active euthanasia. If you want to know more about this one, you can search my name and then like type in active euthanasia and passive euthanasia. Okay, so about this, what are the emotional and ethical appeals? Okay, Leadbeater shared a poignant story about a teacher who suffered a painful death from bile duct cancer. In the Parliament, he discussed about a teacher who suffered a painful death because of bile duct cancer. In this regard, I am going to introduce this bill so that people don't die because painful death because of this issue again. The case underscores the anguish or sadness or the pain faced by terminally ill patients and their families. Okay, so there was a debate, obviously, once it was introduced in the Parliament. And what were the debates and argument? The bill was sparked intense debate with 330 MPs voting in favor and 275 voting against. And this is very interesting. Members were released from party whips to vote based on the conscience. Okay, it doesn't matter which party MP belongs to, whether he is from ruling party, whether he is from opposition party. Each MPs individually were allowed to vote on it without that fear of whip. Okay, you do not have to abide by the party guidelines in this particular issue. As a result, there are 330 MPs in favor and 275 against. And Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Health Secretary West Keating, they oppose the bill. Okay, even Prime Minister and Health Secretary oppose this bill. Imagine a condition in India where Prime Minister and Health Secretary or Health Minister are opposing of a bill, and that bill getting 330 votes in India. That is not possible in Indian situation, because since the party member service from it was possible in UK, or else it would not have been possible in UK also. Then what are the key opposition arguments? The opposition says that there is a slippery slope concern. That is, cases or critics argue that it could lead to abuse, pressurizing vulnerable individuals like elderly and disabled to go through the assisted death. Okay, this can be any act or any law can be misused, and there is a misuse of this act also. That is, vulnerable people like disabled, elderly can be pressurized by individuals. And then moral and cultural context. That is, opponents believe that societal context in Britain does not support the moral ground for assisted dying. Okay, birth is natural, but death is not. Death should also be natural. Okay, one should not take away life of another person, even at the request of other person. It will amount to murder. Many of the ethical moral principles, things like this. Okay, then lesson from other countries. Okay, there have been other examples in many other countries. That is, Canada initially restricted assisted dying to those with reasonably foreseeable death, later expanding to the case of grievous or irredeemable conditions. Okay, Canada there is a issue, but Canada there is a law. It allows only assisted dying for grievous or irredeemable conditions only. That is, there is no possibility that this person can be back. This person can come back to normal again. Okay, only in those conditions it allows assisted dying. In India, there is no particular law, but Supreme Court has given certain limited guidance. That is, to die through an advanced medical directive. Okay, there is a process that if you want to if you want to go through euthanasia, that is passive euthanasia, active euthanasia, you have to have a living will when you are alive. You have to write a living will. That living will should be written in front of a person who you want to perform the assisted death, and there should be persons such as judicial magistrate and other people. And once you unfortunately fall into vegetative state. That is, once you form into terminal ill patient, once you become terminal ill patient, then the assisted death will be carried out by the person who have mentioned in this one. But that should be also be done in front of judicial magistrate and the other persons, and that can be approved only by medical board, which constitute a neurologist, surgeon, etc. person. There is a detailed guidance given by Supreme Court. And recently there is a law in India also which tried to implement these things, but it is still in contention. Then what are the proponents, counter arguments? Counter arguments, that is proponents who support this are good advocate highlights the safeguards including limited eligibility, that terminal diagnosis with at least 6 months to live. So there is already safeguard. It is only like eligible only for people who are terminally diagnosed and only have 6 months to live. For those people you can allow death, okay, peaceful death. Assisted dying emphasizes the freedom and dignity of individuals. Okay, it is one of the rights-based choice. Okay, they say that proponents of active euthanasia says that, or assisted says that freedom of, okay, there is a right to life. Okay, freedom of life or right to life. That right to life also includes right to dignified life. So person who is going through, who is under terminal ill person, who is a terminal ill person, or who is undergoing anguish or sufferings every day, is that a life with a dignified, okay, dignity? No, right? So they say that the right to life should also include right to dignity, right to dignified life. Since they are not able to achieve the right to dignified life, they should be allowed to go through this assisted death. Then what are the ethical dimensions? Supporters stress that importance of individual autonomy in choosing the manner of first death should be followed. Okay, it is not that you are going and doing the assisted death, you are only doing it after the consents or after the consent given by the individual, only then you are going to perform this one. So critics remain concerned about the potential misuse and implications of the society. Okay, so we have to see where it is going to end. This is very important for those people who are going to attend the interview. Okay, this can be important from the mains perspective also. You can also expect a question in GS2 or GS4 in ethics paper about active and passive euthanasia, because there has been a law which has been passed in a country like UK, and there is a law in India also, so it becomes very important. Then next, there was an article in the science page of Indian Express, sorry, Hindu. It talks about Hubble tension, universe's acceleration expansion. Okay, we'll see what is Hubble tension. The recent data from NASA's James Webb Space Telescope corroborates earlier findings of the Hubble telescope that the universe is expanding at approximately 8% faster than the theoretical models predict. Okay, this discrepancy, which is also known as Hubble tension, challenges current cosmological understanding and suggests missing components in our knowledge of the universe. Okay, initially, according to the model theoretics, they said universe is expanding at a particular rate, but Hubble tension, that is Hubble telescope, which was a precursor to this James Webb telescope, had initially said that universe is growing at a rate higher than what theories predict, what model predicts. That presently it has been confirmed by James Webb telescope. This Hubble tension, it becomes very important. Hubble tension is a discrepancy between the rate of expansion of universe according to theory and rate of expansion in reality. Okay, there can be prelims questions on Hubble telescope, okay, or Hubble tension. Validation of Hubble data. Okay, the 2-year data set from James Webb Space Telescope validates Hubble's measurements, ruling out potential flaws in the earlier instrument. The findings confirm a persistent mismatch between observed expansion rates and the predictions based on the universe's initial condition and the subsequent evolution. Okay, so initially they thought that maybe Hubble telescope has certain issues with respect to its calculation. That is why they are saying it is expanding at a rate greater than what it was mentioned in the theories. But now even the James Webb telescope has confirmed that whatever the Hubble telescope had predicted, it is the right only. And then what are the key insights from researcher? That is Adam Rees, who is one of the space enthusiasts. He says that the Nobel laureate Adam Rees highlights the significance of this discrepancy, emphasizing gaps in understanding the universe's dominant components, that is dark matter, which constitute 27% of the universe, and dark energy, which constitutes 69%. These elements govern most of the cosmic dynamics and that remain mysterious. We know very little about dark matter and dark energy. That is why we are not able to explain these discrepancies. Then potential exoplanet nations. Okay. Theory suggests exotic properties of gravity, unknown influences of dark energy or dark matter, of dark matter, or even the contributions from dark radiation such as neutrinos as a possible causes for abnormal or anomalous expansion rate. Okay, it is still very theoretical nature. There needs to be a lot of research and development. Only then we will be able to give a proper reason for why there is a discrepancy. What are the methodology and findings? Based on which methodology? Researchers use three distinct methods to measure distances to galaxies hosting Cepheid variable stars. What is Cepheid variable stars? Cepheid variable stars. These are cosmic bodies or objects in the space which brighten and dim at a periodical state rate. Brighten and dim at periodical times. Okay, meaning we know at what time it is going to brighten, we know what time it is going to dim. Based on this periodical brightening and dimming, we are going to understand the time period. We have used this method to calculate the distance in light years. Then results from both James Webb Telescope and Hubble show the consistency in measurement, underscoring the validity of data and the existence of Hubble tension. Now, the static part of here is what is James Webb Telescope. There is a UPSC mains question asked about this in 2022, so this becomes very important. Just have a nominal discussion. That is, telescope is a result of an international collaboration between NASA, European Space Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency, which was launched in December 2021. It is currently at a point in space known as L2 Lagrange point, approximately 1.5 million kilometers beyond the Earth's orbit around the Sun. Lagrange point 2 is one of the 5 points in the orbital plane of the Earth-Sun system. You know what is Lagrange point? A Lagrange point is a point in the space between two objects where the forces of both objects cancel each other. Okay, at that point, a particular object which is placed can remain in a static position forever. Okay, neither one object or other object is going to pull it towards each other, because both the forces or both the gravitational force of both objects are cancelling out each other at that particular point. So there are such 5 points between two any cosmic bodies, and this telescope is placed at L2 telescope. Okay, and Aditya probe. Okay, it is placed at L1 point. It is there in the name itself, Aditya L1. Named after Italian French mathematician Joseph Louis Lagrange, the points are in any revolving two body system like Earth and Sun, marking where gravitation forces of two large bodies cancel out each other out. Already explain this one. So James Webb Telescope is the largest, most powerful infrared space telescope to ever built. It is the successor to Hubble telescope. It can see backwards in time to just after the Big Bang by looking for the galaxies that are so far away that the light has taken many billion years to get from those galaxies to our telescopes. Okay, universe is expanding at at the rate which is even faster than the speed of light. Okay, there are many parts of the universe where the light is not even reached it. Okay, the light from the sun or light from anywhere has not yet reached there, because universe is expanding at the rate faster than the speed of the light. Okay, so very beautiful concepts. All these things are very interesting things also. And then there was an article in Supreme the Hindu about Supreme Court is determined to eradicate manual scavenging. Supreme Court of India has reiterated its commitment to eliminate manual scavenging and hazardous cleanings of sewers, septic tanks, etc. A special bench comprising of Justice Sudhanshu Duhia, etc. expressed intent to reduce this one. There was a 2023 judgment and its observations. In 2023, Supreme Court held that court directed the union and state governments to eradicate manual scavenging and hazardous cleaning practices, enhance compensation for deaths due to severe related asphyxiation from 10 lakh to 30 lakhs. If there is a person who dies because of manual scavenging, that is a disease severe related asphyxiation, then he should be provided 30 lakhs compensation. The court had noted that such inhumane practices persisted even a decade after the enactment of prohibition of employment as a manual scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act of 2013. There was an act in 2013 which prohibited manual scavenging and which also reiterated for the rehabilitation of those manual scavengers. Even after the act, the manual scavenging has been practiced even till now. It highlighted that claims of fraternity, equality, and dignity for all the citizens remain meaningless if a section of society continues to endure these degrading, inhuman conditions. Okay, manual scavenging. You know what is manual scavenging? Manual scavenging is cleaning someone else's feces by another individual, that too in dry latrines. Okay, just imagine how inhuman practice that is. Okay, a person is made to clean another person's feces because of its economical and other like issues, okay, constraints. So that is very inhumane. Non-compliance by states. The special bench expressed disappointment that the states have made little progress in implementing 2023 judgment. Justice Dulia observed that no municipality in the country has fully eradicated hazardous cleaning practices. Okay, judiciary even though has given out guidelines, judiciary has even though used the special portion 142 and given these orders, many states have not implemented this. Then recent severe deaths highlighting the persistent problem. Even after the act, even after the guidelines, there have been deaths. Amicus Curie K. Parameshwar pointed to three incidents, recent judgments of Delhi High Court that ordered enhanced compensation to victim families, which underscored the ongoing issue of severe deaths. Okay, the judiciary also questioned Namaste scheme. What is this Namaste scheme? Namaste scheme is national action for mechanized sanitization ecosystem. That is, there will be robots or machines which will be dealing with this manual scavenging. That was the scheme which was brought by Government of India. The court questioned the efficacy of the government's Namaste scheme, asking why such practices continue despite the implementation of the scheme. Okay, the scheme is to eliminate the manual scavenging. If there is a scheme, even then why there are deaths? Okay, why is it not properly implemented? Then court also asked for next steps and warning of contempt of court. Okay, I already explained what is contempt of court. If there is any order given by the Supreme Court, it is a duty of each and every individual in the country, even the government, even the state government, even the central government, even the union, every government. It is a duty of the government to follow those orders. Okay, implement those orders. So, court directed the Social Justice Ministry to convene a meeting with the states within 2 weeks to devise an actionable plan for the implementing October 20th judgment. The government was warned to rectify lapses or face contempt proceedings. Okay, this is the article, and the final article for the day is India's contribution to malaria burden in Southeast Asia. Okay, India accounts for half of malaria cases in southeastern states in Southeast Asia in 2023. In 2023, India accounted for nearly 50% of malaria cases in WHO Southeast Asia region, while Indonesia contributed nearly one-third. Together, India and Indonesia are responsible for 88% of malaria deaths in the region, Southeast Asia region. Okay. Progress against the malaria in Southeast Asia. Malaria cases in the region dropped significantly from 22.8 million in 2000 to 4 million in 2023, which is a remarkable 82% reduction. Deaths decreased by 82.9% from 35,000 to 6,000 in 2023. Countries like India, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Nepal have achieved reductions in the malaria cases, while North Korea, Thailand have saw increases. Then Timor-Leste, Bhutan reportedly zero indigenous malaria cases in 2023, very significant this one. And global malaria trends is worldwide malaria caused an estimated 263 million cases and 596,000 deaths in 2023. Since 2000, 2.2 billion cases and 12.7 million deaths have been prevented globally. This is very important. So globally, a fight against malaria is progressing at a very good rate, at a fast rate. 44 countries and 1 territory have been certified malaria free as of November 2024. Okay, and regarding India, what is the achievement is India reported 93% reduction in malaria cases incidence since 2000 with an estimated 17.7 million fewer cases. Okay, so this is a report. These data become very important if there is a question against like about malaria, or if there is a question about what do you say, performance of India in medical field. You can use this data to substantiate your points. Okay, so what is malaria? Malaria is a life-threatening disease caused by Plasmodium parasites, which are transmitted by humans through the bites of Anopheles mosquito. Okay, female Anopheles mosquito parasites. There are 5 Plasmodium species in which infect humans, that is P. falciparum, P. vivax being the most common. These are the Plasmodium. These are the parasites which result in malaria, and this is the vector, that is Anopheles mosquitoes. Transmission, that is bite of an infected mosquito, and sometimes rarely through blood transmission, organ transfers, etc. etc. Symptoms of malaria is fever, chills and headache, nausea and vomiting, muscle pain or fatigue, sweating. In severe cases, it will also result in seizures, anemia, blood loss, organ failures, coma, etc. etc. So about cure and treatment, medications involve artemisinin, okay, artemisinin based combination therapies, that is ACTs. First line treatment of P. falciparum and chloroquine, which is effective for P. vivax and P. mercury. So ACT and chloroquine are the treatment provided present. hospitalization, severe malaria cases may require intensive care and interventional medications that is required, and there should also supportive care, that is managing fever, hydration and organ dysfunction. Okay, and how do you prevent it? Prevention is do insecticide treated bed nets. Okay, indoor residual spraying, that is prevention is not to get bitten by these mosquitoes. For that, and then preventive medication for travelers to malaria endemic regions, and then vaccination. There is vaccination present. WHO recommended RTS, ASON malaria vaccine for children in high risk areas. And then you can also do the environment management, it is reducing the mosquito breeding centers or sites by draining the stagnant water. This is about malaria, and these are all the articles which we decided to discuss today. Some articles important for prelim, some articles important for mains, but very important for UPSC. If you like the video or like the session, do click on the like button and also comment on it and share with your friends. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.